The door creaked open. I was the only one in the bathroom, or so I thought. Then I heard it, soft, polite, and right behind me. "Would you like red paper or blue? My name is the Tales Keeper, and tonight's bedtime horror is not for the faint of heart. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a horror story. This one comes from Japan, where the wrong answer in a public restroom could mean your last breath. It was late. The park was nearly empty except for the hum of a vending machine and the faint buzz of a street lamp. Naoki, a 17-year-old cram school student, was walking home when the cramps hit. He spotted the public restroom tucked between the trees. The inside smelled faintly of bleach, but the fluorescent lights overhead flickered like they were struggling to stay awake. Water dripped from one of the sinks in slow, rhythmic beats, like a clock counting down. Naoki chose the farthest stall. His shoes squeaked faintly on the damp tile as he stepped inside. That's when the air shifted. It wasn't just a draft. It was the kind of cold that slides into your bones. Naoki shifted in his seat, trying to finish quickly. That's when he heard it. Soft, almost polite footsteps echoing off the tiles. They weren't rushed like someone desperate for the toilet. They weren't hesitant like someone deciding which stall to take. They were steady, deliberate. He froze, listening. Each step clicked against the damp floor. Click, click, click. They stopped just outside his stall. Naoki's skin prickled. Then, through the narrow gap between the door and the frame, he saw it. A flash of crimson. Not a jacket, not a bag. Something heavier, like a cloak. The voice came low, smooth, and patient. "Would you like red paper or blue?" It wasn't loud, it wasn't even threatening. But it felt wrong, like someone asking the time at a funeral. Naoki held his breath. The voice waited. He tried to laugh it off in his head. Maybe it was a classmate pulling a prank. But the hairs on his arms told him otherwise. The question hung in the air. No shuffling feet. No breathing. Just waiting. His mind dragged up a memory from a few weeks ago. He'd been leaning against the wall outside school, scrolling on his phone when a friend whispered to him, "Don't ever pick red or blue paper. That's Aka Manto." The friend told him about the spirit, how it always came to the last stall in a public restroom, how it would ask the question, and how anyone who answered would be found dead in a way that matched their choice. Red paper meant being skinned alive, your body painted in its own blood. Blue meant being strangled, your lips and skin turning ice cold and blue before you died. Naoki's throat tightened. It was ridiculous, right? But the voice came again. Red or blue? He could hear his own pulse in his ears. If he stayed silent, maybe it would leave, but his nerves cracked under the weight of that awful, patient silence. "Red," he blurted. The light above him gave a low, electric groan, then died completely. The darkness was total. He couldn't see his own hands. Then came the sound. Wet, slow, tearing, like meat being ripped from bone. Naoki's legs shook so hard he thought he'd collapse. Something dripped onto the stall floor, thick and warm, splattering across his shoes. A shadow shifted just beyond the stall door. Something scraped along the floor, dragging slowly toward him. The light flickered back on. There was nothing there. Nothing but a faint streak of red smeared across the tiles. He pushed the door open, chest heaving. The bathroom was empty, no voices, no footsteps. But then he saw it. A set of wet footprints leading from his stall to the far wall, straight into the last stall. They weren't normal footprints. The toes pointed toward him, as if the person inside was standing perfectly still, facing the door. The smell hit him next. Damp fabric and something coppery, like coins left in the rain. Naoki crouched against every instinct and peeked under the stall door. Shoes, black, formal, and legs that didn't bend right, locked at an unnatural angle. They hadn't moved since he entered. His friend's voice echoed in his head. The only way to survive is to refuse the paper altogether. Naoki swallowed. I don't need any paper. The stall went silent. Dead silent. Then, a soft chuckle. It rolled low in the throat, warm like a laugh shared between friends, but there was no humor in it. Clever, the voice murmured, then sharper. But you stayed too long. The light above him dimmed as if something massive was leaning over it. Naoki didn't wait. He slammed the stall door open and bolted for the exit. The tiles seemed longer now, stretching away as his footsteps echoed like thunder in his ears. He could feel it. Someone behind him. The air grew colder, heavier. He reached for the metal handle, and a hand clamped down on his shoulder. It was ice cold and thin, but strong as steel. It yanked him back so hard he stumbled into the darkness. The door slammed shut. When the park opened the next morning, the bathroom was spotless. No footprints, no blood, no Naoki. Only a single folded piece of red paper sat on the sink. Some ghosts aren't there to scare you. They're there to offer you a choice. And with Aka Manto, there's no right answer. If you ever hear that polite voice asking, red or blue, don't answer. Don't speak. And whatever you do, don't look under the last stall.